Hello and welcome. My name is Errity Green and this is Wise Women Oracle and Tarot, and today I'm bringing you a pick a card reading on what does the opposite sex think about you or your people or party of interest. And the reason I'm putting it this way is because some of us, for those non-binary folks, I want to make sure this reading is also for you. It's basically who you are attracted to, which could be anyone, any group, any individual, any party. What do they think of you? What do these people that you tend to be romantically interested in, how do they see you? What do they think about you? So this is what you are here for. This is the reading for you. If you find you enjoy this reading, I encourage you to like, subscribe, press the bell icon. That way you can receive notifications every single time a new reading pops up. If you want to get to know more about me, my work, personal readings, you can check out erritygreen.com/shop. You can also find the link below. I do have two other YouTube channels, Psychic True Crime and Wise Women Talk. You can check those out linked below. I encourage you to join those communities as well. Last but not least, do click the URL down below to sign up for the newsletter. That way we can stay in touch between readings. So without delay, I will place a picture up of your 3 card piles to choose from today. Okay, so card pile 1. I feel like, how do they see you? This is the opposite sex if you consider yourself heterosexual, but this could also be your romantic party or person of interest in general. How do they see you? How do they tend to see you? So I am seeing, we have 3 different cards speaking to play. So I feel like you are silly, playful, humorous. You don't take too much too seriously. You are willing to sort of take the serious matters of life, make them more fun, make things funny, make things enjoyable. I feel like you're flirty, so they recognize that and they like that about you. I think that sometimes they can think that maybe you don't take things as seriously as you could or maybe should. I'm not sensing too much of a judgment, so it doesn't feel like it should, it feels like it could, but they also feel this energy of just being super playful, super silly, having a good time, someone who wants to have a good time and keep life fun, easy, and floaty, and I feel like they for sure see that in you. I feel like, though, they also see that this sort of covers a part of you that might be more serious, a part of you that might be more sincere or deep, a part of you that does long for something more different or better, a part of you that is still sort of in the search for happiness or in the pursuit of happiness, of finding your fulfillment, finding your joy, finding what lights you up. It's like that beautiful paradox of someone who can present as fun, playful, flirty, silly, all those wonderful things that we all enjoy in people, and yet they can very clearly see that there is someone inside who is sincere, who can be deep. Not all of you are going to be deep. I do feel sincerity, though, as a general universal factor, and that at the end of the day, you're sort of just like everybody else, searching for the thing that'll bring you fulfillment, for the life that will light you up, for what will be rewarding for you. So they see that you can operate as both, that you are both, that even though you have a silly, playful exterior, that you do have a more sincere interior that is focused on the things in life that matter most. You want to create fulfillment, satisfaction, and joy for yourself. You are relatively in tune and in touch with yourself, but they do see that you don't take anything too seriously. Yeah, they see that you live off of a healthy diet of joy, of play, of having fun. So for some of you, this isn't going to be the case for all of you, but for some of you, you might be young or consider yourself young or youthful spirited, or someone who still has a lot of youthful energy, who's out there playing and doing all the things. Now, for some of you, that could look like thrill seeking. For some of you, that could look like partying regularly or still partying all the time. That could be, engaging in substance use and hanging out with a lot of friends and keeping a lot of friends as company and still living out that youthful part of your life. So I feel like they feel like you are on a steady diet of play. Now, for some of you, this isn't going to be the case for all of you. This does feel like not a majority, but a minority of you, or at least a group of you, that they see you as someone who is very conscious with your health, takes care of your health. You might be vegan. You might be someone who eats mostly organic or vegetables and fresh foods. You might be someone who it's like gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free. This isn't going to be the case for everybody, obviously, but I do feel that for some people, that that's how they see you, as someone who's really healthy. So you might be someone who does a lot of yoga, or they think that you do a lot of yoga, right? So it's like remembering this is their impression of you. These things don't necessarily have to be true, right? This is how they see you. So even if you are only doing yoga once a month, if they see you wear the yoga pants, they might be thinking that you do yoga all the time. But maybe with the body, they think that you're doing the thing. And so they're like, oh, they're healthy, even if they're not, right? So it's what they think of you, but they think that you're healthy, that you generally take care of yourself, that you value the health, that you value your health. They also feel like you value the planet. I feel like for some of you, it very much has that energy of like the youth of this era who tend to be fairly well connected, in tune, wanting to support Mother Earth, Mother Nature, might be doing yoga and taking care of their bodies, or at least aware, but definitely having a lot of fun, celebrating, taking in the joys of life, enjoying the season of life, letting things be enjoyable and playful. There is a part of you though, again, and they pick up on it, whether or not you put it out there or want them to pick up on it, again, who is sincere and searching for something. So for some of you, you might actually be depressed on the inside and denying it, anxious and having to cope and self-medicate, struggling with any number of sort of mental health issues or challenges, struggles or hardships that maybe you don't put out there in the world, but they're able to see that. They see a glimpse of it. They just see someone who's still searching and maybe not entirely sure of themselves or their future, and that's still kind of on the path of creating fulfillment for themselves. But you are going to know, card pile 1, whether that means that you're also self-medicating at some point or at some level, or engage in like coping mechanisms in order to take care of that anxiety and depression. Because some of you, not all of you, but some of you, this humor and this fun and this playfulness and flirtiness is a front or a cover for those deeper aspects of you that you haven't fully reconciled with or, made friends with. And so some of you might be in denial of yourself in some way and think that, all your play is for fun and games, but you might be not looking at something. Now, I do want to be clear, though, that's not something that they see. That's something that's coming through for you as a message, because we're here, we're talking about they see you. But I also, if something else comes up that's relevant, I want to make sure I share that too. And I think it is relevant for you to hear that and to know that, there's an opportunity here for greater self-honesty as well, if that is relevant for you. Yeah, I feel like, again, you're finding your way. You're on the path of finding more fulfillment. You're on the path of discovering yourself. And I feel like you're enjoying it for the most part. There are some deeper parts and some healing to do. And I think you already know that. You're not in denial of that. But I don't think you're rushing it or forcing it or getting too serious or trying to age or mature too quickly, too fast. I feel like you're enjoying yourself. Now, again, this is how they see you. Okay? So this might not be true for you. This might just be how they see you. Okay? And so these are conversation starters too. These are questions you could ask, like, how do you see me? And hey, I was watching this reading and it was saying that you think I have a great sense of humor, that I'm really silly and flirty, but there's also this part of me that's still kind of searching for something. And there, hey, there actually might be a part of me that has anxiety and depression, and I'm still kind of trying to figure it out, but I'm kind of having fun doing it. And they might be like, oh my gosh, like that's exactly what I was thinking. But of course, clearly this person likes that about you. They wouldn't be coming after you or interested in you, assuming that they are. But again, even if there's not a particular romantic interest, this could be, right, this is meant to be general. This is meant to be universal. It's like, this is how the opposite sex or your person or party of interest tends to see you. Okay, so it may not even be someone you're talking to, but in the event you are talking to someone, I think it'd be a fun conversation starter. But ultimately, they see you as someone who's fun, enjoying, not taking life too seriously, but perhaps overlooking or neglecting certain parts of themselves, and or they just see you on the path of finding fulfillment and happiness, just like everybody else. It feels like they do feel like you're on path and on par, like they feel like you're self-aware, they feel like you're finding your way, they feel like that you know how to dance with life and how to make the most of it and how to enjoy this little life that we have, the little of time that we get on this planet. They think that you really know how to rock this. I feel like that they are connected to your positive light attributes, your fun, flirty silliness. I feel like they're also connecting with the depth of you, so like that's not going missing. They definitely see that that's there. Some of them even think that, again, you deny that part and then kind of put on the youthfulness, spiritedness, partying, and all that stuff as a front. And they might think that you're either in denial of it or and you're trying to avoid it, right? But that's not going to be the case for all of you. I just want to let you know that, but that could apply. So Card pile 1, how do they tend to see you? Pretty funny, silly, fun, humorous. They know that they can go to you for a good time, that you're not going to take anything too seriously. You're going to have some fun, Netflix and chill, do whatever, however. I don't feel like, I can't tell if you're ready for a relationship. I would guess maybe not. And yet, I don't get the energy that person is expecting anything in particular either. I feel like this is one of those kinds of experiences where this would be someone that you would meet, like when you meet someone, they would meet you in a more casual kind of context or situation, and the relationship would be more casual. It doesn't mean that there's not any kind of future for anyone ever that you meet, but so far, this is the impression that you give off, and so then people would assume, in most cases logically, that you're not looking for something serious because you aren't serious. So, card pile 1, that's how they see you. If this lands, resonates, or if you think it might land or resonate because you might not know, do let me know below. Go ahead, like, subscribe, press the bell icon. That way you receive notifications every single time a new reading pops up. If you want to get to know more about me, my work, personal readings, you can check out the details below or visit erritygreen.com/shop. I do have 2 other YouTube channels. Go ahead and subscribe below. Psychic True Crime, Wise Women Talk. And last but not least, do sign up for the newsletter so we can stay in touch every week between readings. Thank you, card pile 1. All right, card pile 2. How does the opposite sex or your person or party of interest see you? Okay, so this is how generally, universally, collectively, people tend to see you. Okay, in terms of who you would be interested in romantically, but how they see you as a group. I feel like they see you as somebody very wise, very learned, maybe very educated, sort of above it all, maybe even nose in the air, a little bit snooty, a little bit snotty, a little bit, maybe they think spoiled or a stick up your you-know-what. That's not going to be the case for everybody, but I feel like they get that energy of someone who's strong, maybe even intimidating, someone who's kind of above it all, and not quite on the same level of, say, most humans or the most, the average Jane or the average Joe. Like they see you as someone, again, who is educated, who is wise, who is intelligent, who is, again, above it all. They might think of you as sort of, not other human, but what's the term for not being human? Like, but not supernatural necessarily, but just above being human, right? They could even put you on a pedestal. I don't see it as that. I think that they just see you as someone who is intelligent, very bright, someone who is sort of above it all and doesn't kind of give in to like the average human vices. Like, they're not seeing you as someone who's addicted to drugs and alcohol. They're not seeing you as someone who's engaged or invested in a lot of drama. They're not seeing you as someone who is really challenged by a lot of hardship and difficulty. They're not seeing you as someone who's like a crying, sobbing mess all day. They're not seeing you as someone who's showing up to work late all the time. Like, you see what I'm saying? They see you as kind of like, not subhuman, because it's less than human, but superhuman. Superhuman. They see you as superhuman. Yeah, they might even see you as someone who's like spiritual or sort of like different. They might not know or have the words or terms for it, because I feel like not everyone, in terms of your party or persons of interest, whether the opposite sex or non-binary, I don't feel like they're like, this person's spiritual. They might, but I feel like it's more that they're just like, they're a little different. They're unique. They're their own person. They might see it like that. But they see you as alternative, they see you as different, they see you as unique and special, even though they may not always understand it, but they like it because it's you and because it's who you are uniquely, right? They like that this is who you are uniquely, even if they don't get it or understand it. But you might be someone who's spiritual, you might be someone like on this channel, using tarot cards, and you might be someone using crystals and herbs and this and that, and some people might recognize that as spiritual, have another label for it, but I feel like most of the people, when they see you, meet you at a coffee shop or at a bookstore or at the club or wherever, I don't think like you're clubbing though, based on what they're seeing here. I'm thinking bookstore, coffee shop, Target, Starbucks, on vacation, at a retreat, at a yoga class, that kind of thing, or even a mutual friends get together or party or something like that. You're just kind of like this, like you're a cat, not a dog. You know what I mean? You're a cat, that kind of attitude. And, and they see you again as, they might not call it spiritual, but they think she's alternative, like she's different. Like, okay, that's cool. she plays with those cards at home. Neat. I don't know what that means or does or whatever, but that's what they're doing. That's cool, right? And so this is for everybody, by the way. Even if I say she because I identify as a she, so that's my world, and so I sometimes say that, but you have to apply anything I say to your own circumstances and conditions, because not every example is going to be spot on. Not every label or identifier is going to be spot on. There's just no way to keep it universal, but I do try to give my disclaimers and explanations as often as possible. I feel like they see you sort of above it all. Again, superhuman, not even that interested in the affairs of the world, not too concerned with the daily dramas or, what's on the news. It's almost like you're above all that. Like, that's expired. You're more mature. It's like not even a thing. Like, don't even bother, waste it. Like, it's not even something you're gonna waste your time with. That's how they are seeing you, right? So not all of this is true, but this is how they are seeing you. All right, let's see what else is here. Yeah, they see you as someone who's very mature for their age, someone who has done a lot of growth work and spent a lot of time on themselves in self-reflection or self-growth. They see you as someone who's just very mature and has made an intentional choice to grow, who's always trying to grow in new areas, new places, that you're not going to take no for an answer or settle for less or, give in, like I was saying, so kind of like, those human affairs or the melodramas or whatever. You're someone who, there's an incredible maturity here, an incredible wisdom. And so this air of being above it all. I don't think you're snooty. I don't think you're entitled, but this is how they are seeing you. And I don't think that is the energy that they give off either in terms of how they think about you. So I just want to be clear that when I share this, while it might have its own connotation, if I'm not saying it, it's not here. Yeah, again, they see you sort of dreamy and magical and otherworldly. So they might consider you to sort of be like a priestess or a witch, and they might even find that a little bit sexy or attractive. They might be like, oh, wow, like I'm kind of into that because I don't know what it is. So the mystery is the key. The intrigue is the key. They kind of like it because they don't really understand it. And so now I feel like for some of you, not that they'll turned off, but they could be like, what is that, But for a good majority of the people that is in the camp of people that tend to be drawn to you or that you tend to be attracted to, they see you as very magical and dreamy and visionary and otherworldly, almost like an oracle or, kind of like a medicine person or whatever. But there's this sort of this ethereal draw or magnetic draw that they perceive when it comes to you, and even an intrigue because it is mysterious, because it is different from their experience. And it doesn't mean that you don't meet people who are also spiritual or otherworldly, and yet you still feel set apart and unique to these people. Yeah, again, someone who's done a lot of work with themselves, who is very into healing. You might consider yourself a healer of some kind. Again, whether it be alternative, conscious, intentional, spiritual, but I do feel even that high priestess energy, now that can go for any person, party, gender, whatever, because even we have the high priestess in the tarot and it doesn't, right, it's not just like, oh, this is for a woman. Because the reason I say some of this too is because I'll have guys, people who identify as men who write down, like, oh, okay, so I'm a priestess. I'm like, well, yeah, but the priestess comes up in the tarot. Well, I don't know what to tell you. That's just the way it is. So work with me here on the symbols and archetypes. With that said, that's the kind of energy you give off. That's the kind of energy you exude. Even an energy even of awe. Like people are like, hey now, let me worship this person, okay? Like, I'll take them to the bedroom and show them what's up. You know what I mean? So it's kind of that energy as well. But yeah, I mean, all this energy is very ethereal. It's very goddessy. It's very magical. It's very mysterious. It's very intriguing. It's very above it all. It's very connected. It's superhuman. It's ethereal. It's magical. It's, again, above it all. So that's how you are showing up. That's how they are seeing you. Okay. So I feel like this is a really fun reading. Let's see if there's anything else that wants to come through here. Yeah. They see you as beauty, inspiring, sacred, spiritual, above it all, wise, intelligent, beyond it, superhuman. So card pile 2, if this resonates for you, even though you might not know because you don't know how they think, you can comment below, do share your stories, like, subscribe, press the bell icon. That way you receive notifications every single time a new reading pops up. If you want to get to know more about me or my work, how I can support you, personal readings, visit erritygreen.com/shop. The link is below. I encourage you to subscribe to my other 2 YouTube channels, Psychic True Crime, Wise Women Talk. Both are linked below. Last but not least, do sign up for the URL below to sign up for the newsletter. That way you can hear from me between readings. Thank you, card pile 2. Okay, card pile 3. How does the opposite sex or your person or party of interest see you? So this is general collective reading as to how they, whoever that party or group or collective is, tend to see you as a person who's romantically interested in them, okay? So I am seeing here, right off the bat, if you are familiar with Scorpio energy, I feel a lot of that energy. Someone who can be emotional, and I want you to take this the right way, because I think that can come up with a lot of negative connotations, and I don't think that's okay, because, or that it's true, because, you know, Scorpio energy is profound energy. You know, they're usually awesome lovers and a lot of fun, but they can also be, you know, dark, brooding, like Winona Ryder and Beetlejuice. If you're not familiar, do look it up. Or even the energy of like Edward Scissorhands, although he might be more like a Cancer. But anyway, the point is it's like that Scorpio energy, but someone who's really into emotions. You might be someone who can kind of ride the roller coaster of emotions, kind of be up and down. You could be at times volatile or reactive. You could be someone who can be dark and brooding. You could be someone who spends like time with themselves or is inclined toward, say, depression. But it could also be like the dark arts or the mystical arts, or you know, even just darkness, like you like being in a dark room, that kind of thing. You might be someone who really enjoys Halloween, as an example. So it can come across in a number of ways, but I feel like the way the person sees you is that they might see you as emotional and or really in touch with their emotions, and someone even who can fly off the handle or short-tempered. Now, let's be honest though, clearly, if this is your person, party, people of interest, it's not like these people don't get with you. So this isn't a problem, right? This isn't a reason why they walk away. This is just how they see you. So they might like it, because like I said, these kinds of people tend to be amazing lovers, and they also tend to be people that people get hooked on. I mean, that's just the truth. So, and I'm not saying that's the energy that's coming through, but this kind of energy is what some people tend to get hooked on. So you might be someone and find that you're someone that people get addicted to or want more of or can't get enough of. You know, you might be sort of like their drug. Again, that's not going to be the case for everybody, but I feel like they see that you might be more emotional, let's say, than intellectual. You know, that's kind of the point that I'm getting at. You kind of ride the waves of emotion than you do intellect, you know, or get in the mind. You tend to be more emotional. Let's see what else is here. But again, very devoted lover. I feel like they know that. They know what you're good for, you know, and I feel like they enjoy, you know, you might be someone who's very physically affectionate, and they know that, even if, because this is about how they see you. So this could be people you've been with or not been with, right? This is a universal reading. It's how they see you. So I think that whether or not they would know for sure, they would think that you're a good lover. They would think that you're a good kisser. They would love to get their hands on you. They'd love to get with you. They'd love to spend some time with you, you know, especially in more intimate scenarios and settings, because they imagine the depth of devotion and the depth of worship. And not that you would do that for them, but they might even do it for you, and vice versa. They just know it's kind of a sure thing in that way. They trust that that would be the case, that things would turn out to be something that was enjoyable. But they do sense that this could, I feel like they do sense a level of potential for not toxicity, because I'm not saying that, again, you're a toxic person, because again, they would tend to crave you or be addicted to you, but obviously that kind of relationship or that kind of connection can tend to go sour if it's not worked on consciously, if we aren't intentional about it. And so they might be a little bit nervous, because they're like, oh, this person falls hard and fast, you know, or oh, this kind of person, you don't know if you want to get involved with them, they got the drama going on here, this, that, and the other going on, or you don't know if you can get with them because they have their problems, and, you know, whatever that is, right? Because your situation or experience will be unique to you. And right, this is their impression. So none of this has to be true. This is how they see you. They might be assuming drama, right? They might be assuming volatility. They might be assuming toxicity. They might be assuming that you're a good lover, right? These are all assumptions, but this is how they see you. And clearly, some of them are interested. Otherwise, you wouldn't have had relationships up until now. But this is how they see you. They see you as someone who, you know, is kind of like that Scorpio kind of energy. If you're not familiar with that, look it up so you can become familiar with it. Because we just have a lot of dark, gray, black, but all like perfect to you, authentic to you. Like, witches aren't upset that they're witches, you know. Elvira, if you know that character from like the 80s, isn't upset that she's Elvira. She's happy to be Elvira. So it's like, this is authentic to you. This is good. This is like who you want to be. This is you. So accepting that, you know, that's awesome. And then their impression of you, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is there are no negative connotations here. Like, even though it might seem like it's like, oh, all the colors are dark, you know, you're going to be the type of person who likes that. And if you're not, then this might not be the card pile for you. And or this is how the person sees you, even if that's not how you are, right? So you might have been someone in high school, you know, or when you were younger, you know, had like the black hair, or, you know, wore a lot of dark makeup, or wore like dark baggy clothes. You don't have to be. That's not going to be everybody. But again, it's helping you identify who they think the kind of person that you are. Let's see what else is here. Let's see what else is here. I feel like they feel like they can bring you something different, something sweet, something special. So maybe part of this too isn't necessarily your personality long term. Maybe they feel like you're going through a hard time, or that you've been through a hard time. Maybe they know that you've been through a hard time, you know, when they meet you and they hear that you kind of had this kind of hard knocks life, or this hard knocks, you know, growing up, or had it really challenging as a young adult, or whatever it is, however old you are, and they feel like they can bring you something special, bring you something different. You know, kind of like the savior complex, where they're like, you know what, I might be able to show them something real, show them something authentic. You know, they've had a hard time, but I see their value, and I want to be able to support them and walk with them and partner with them and journey with them. And they think that they can have something to offer you. They think, okay, this person's had it challenging. This isn't going to be the case for everybody, but I do feel a good percentage here where they feel like it's less of a personality thing and more of you've been through a hard time or a dark season of your life, right? So it ends up being more of an adjective as opposed to an identifier. You had a dark season, a challenging season of your life, and they want to come in and bring and turn on the lights and bring you more joy, bring you more fulfillment, be the person who can show you that relationships don't have to be bad, dark, toxic, or abusive, that relationships can be fun, that relationships can be fulfilling and loving, and that this can be done consciously and done well. Yeah, I mean, they want to bring you this. Like, look at this energy. Let me show you the old energy, right? This is how they were seeing you, right? You know, with some of the dark and brooding energy, you know, maybe through a dark time, but this could also be just who you identify as generally. But also it's authentic to you. Like, there is no problem. Nothing is wrong. This is who you are. It's a beautiful thing to be who you are. But they also see this, you know, projections and maybe a challenging time or difficulty seeing clearly or seeing through emotion as opposed to facts. And this is what they think they can offer you. Card pile 3. They think that they can offer you this. You see the difference in that? Love and intimacy, sabbatical, taking a break, soul family, soulmate. They think that they're your soulmate, you know, I feel like, or that you're their soulmate. If they don't think that, they think they can offer you that they can show you how it's done and how it's done well. You know, they would like to show you how it's done and how it's done well. That even if you have been through a hard time or you have been, what were we saying earlier? But even if you've had through, you know, been through a dark time or whatever, that they want to be the one to show you the good time. And so I feel like we kind of talked to a few different kinds of groups and camps here. Some people who sort of thrive in emotion and or, you know, they tend to be in that experience of following more emotion than intellect. But this person likes that about you and they're kind of into that and they're curious about it. And they want some more of that and they're thinking there's gonna be some good stuff on the other side of that. And then we have also the camp where it's like they know you've been through a hard time and it's been tough and you've probably had a hard knocks life or at least a hard knocks period of time here, and they're ready to show you something bright, good, and swell. All right, so card pile 3, do let me know, does this land for you? Share in the comments, like, subscribe, press the bell icon, that way you receive notifications every single time a new reading pops up. I'd love to hear from you. If you want to get to know more about me or my work, you can visit erritygreen.com/shop. The link is also listed below. I have 2 other YouTube channels I'd love to see you join over there, Psychic True Crime and Wise Women Talk, both of which are linked below. Last but not least, I do have a URL below to sign up for my newsletter so we can stay in touch between readings. I'll see you there. Thank you, card pile 3.